1. Attention classic car enthusiasts. Here's a 1960 Ford Thunderbird that's looking for a new home. This white coupe, currently listed on Craigslist for $5,000, is a mechanics special that requires some TLC to reach its full potential. Let's start with the positives. The upholstery is described as very nice, and the car comes equipped with power windows, a power driver's seat, power steering, a power antenna, and power brakes. The glass is all in good condition and the tires appear to be nearly new, with a believed 2021 DOT code. However, it's important to note that this T-Bird has some issues that need to be addressed. The seller openly admits that the transmission linkage needs attention, as the car may roll even when in park. The emergency brake is also non-functional and the wipers don't work. While the power brakes stop the car, they should be inspected and possibly replaced. Under the hood, you'll find a 1974 360 Ci engine with unknown mileage that is said to run well. The seller has performed some maintenance, including changing the oil and filter, replacing valve cover gaskets, fuel filter, air filter, trunk lock, and carburetor kit. Cosmetically, the car looks good from a distance, but upon closer inspection, there are a few scratches, dings, and some rust on the body. The paint is described as fair. The seller has driven the car to local shows and around the neighborhood, even reaching speeds of 60 miles per hour. However, they recommend trailering the vehicle, leaving the final decision up to the buyer. In summary, this Thunderbird is a project car that requires some mechanical know-how and elbow grease to bring it back to its former glory. If you're up for the challenge and have been searching for a classic T-Bird to restore, this could be the opportunity you've been waiting for. 2. Check out this 1951 Ford Shoebox, currently listed on Craigslist for $9,000. This classic ride has been given some modern upgrades while still maintaining its original charm. Under the hood, you'll find a flathead V8 engine that's sure to turn heads wherever you go. The car has been converted to a 12-volt electrical system, ensuring more reliable operation and easier starting. The transmission is an automatic, making it a breeze to drive around town or on the highway. The exterior of this shoebox has been given a polished patina paint job in a striking green color. The front chrome has been replaced with new components, adding a touch of shine to the car's overall appearance. The lowered stance gives it an aggressive, hot rod look that's sure to get attention at any car show or cruise in. Inside, the interior is described as being in good condition, providing a comfortable space for you and your passengers to enjoy the ride. The seller has also installed a modern Bluetooth stereo, allowing you to easily connect your favorite tunes while cruising down the road. With its combination of classic style and modern upgrades, this Ford is perfect for families or friends who want to experience the thrill of driving a vintage hot rod. Imagine pulling up to your local burger joint or car show in this eye-catching ride. It's sure to spark conversations and create lasting memories. While the odometer shows 200,000 miles, the car's overall condition suggests that it has been well cared for over the years. As with any classic vehicle, it's always a good idea to thoroughly inspect the car before making a purchase. In summary, if you're in the market for a starter hot rod or simply want to experience the nostalgia of driving a classic shoebox, this listing on Craigslist is definitely worth checking out. With its attractive price point and appealing features, this vintage ride could be the perfect addition to your garage. 3. Here's a rare opportunity to own a piece of American automotive history. A 1960 AMC Rambler American Super two-door coupe, currently listed on Craigslist for $7,950. This Rambler was originally delivered to Reynolds and Sealer Rambler in San Francisco and has spent its life on the West Coast. As a result, it boasts a solid body and undercarriage with minimal rust, a testament to its California heritage. The car has undergone a partial restoration in the past, which included a beautifully redone interior, very good chrome, and all trim intact. It has always been garaged, ensuring its preservation. Under the hood, you'll find the stock 90 GP 196 Ci flathead 6-cylinder engine, paired with a 3-speed manual transmission with overdrive. The seller reports that the engine runs very smoothly and strongly, with no smoking or unusual noises. The car has been upgraded to a 12-volt electrical system for improved reliability. The body does have a dent in the rocker panel and a few small rust bubbles starting to form near the lower rear window area. However, these issues could be easily addressed and repainted, bringing the car even closer to its original glory. Recent servicing on this Rambler includes fresh fluids, new brake cylinders and master cylinder, new U-joints, transmission output seal, and spark plugs. The stock radio has been rebuilt and converted to AM/FM with a new speaker and USB port for modern convenience. The seller is including extra new parts to replace all major driveline seals and brake shoes, as well as technical service repair manuals, the original owner's manual, and a sales brochure. A historic 1960 Wisconsin front license plate is also included, harkening back to the car's trip to an AMC Rambler convention in Kenosha, Wisconsin, where it was originally produced. During that 2002 journey, the car covered 5,200 miles and averaged an impressive 29 mpg. This AMC is a unique and well-preserved example of a bygone era in American automotive history. It's sure to attract attention wherever it's driven and would make an excellent addition to any classic car collection. The seller is only parting with this special vehicle due to a loss of storage space and is looking for the next owner who will continue to care for and preserve it for future generations. 4. Here's your chance to own a piece of American automotive history: a 1985 Cadillac Eldorado two-door coupe, currently listed on Craigslist for just $3,495. This Eldorado is a true classic, embodying the style and elegance that Cadillac is renowned for. With its sleek lines and iconic design, this car is sure to turn heads wherever you go. The seller describes the car as being in good condition, suggesting that it has been well maintained over the years. Under the hood, you'll find a powerful V8 engine that delivers a smooth and comfortable ride. The automatic transmission ensures effortless driving, allowing you to sit back and enjoy the journey in true Cadillac fashion. With 89,000 miles on the odometer, this Eldorado has plenty of life left in it and is ready to provide you with years of driving pleasure. One of the key selling points of this classic Cadillac is that it comes with current smog certification and registration, as well as a clean title. This means that you can drive the car with confidence, knowing that it meets all the necessary legal requirements. The seller emphasizes that this Eldorado is not only a classic, but also a reliable vehicle. They state that the car runs great, suggesting that it has been properly serviced and maintained. This is crucial for any classic car, as it ensures that you can enjoy your vehicle without worrying about constant repairs or breakdowns. At just $3,495, this Cadillac represents an excellent opportunity to own a piece of American automotive history at an affordable price. Whether you're a collector looking to add to your stable or simply someone who appreciates the timeless style and luxury of a classic Cadillac, this car is definitely worth considering. In summary, if you're in the market for a reliable, well-maintained, and stylish classic luxury coupe, this 1985 Cadillac Eldorado on Craigslist is a must-see. With its clean title, current smog certification, and registration, you can drive this iconic vehicle with peace of mind, while turning heads and enjoying the nostalgia of a bygone era in American automotive design. 5. Step right up and feast your eyes on Sparky, a 1974 Dodge Dart 4-door custom sedan that's ready to steal your heart and ignite your passion for automotive restoration. With a price tag of just $4,000, Sparky is a diamond in the rough, waiting for the right person to come along and polish it to perfection. This car has been a loyal companion to its current owner for the past decade, serving as a trusty daily driver rather than a garage queen. As a result, Sparky has developed a rugged rock and roll personality that's sure to turn heads and spark conversations wherever it goes. Under the hood, you'll find a powerful V8 318 engine mated to a smooth shifting torque flight automatic transmission. Sparky may have some miles on the odometer, but it still drives like a dream, with no major mechanical issues to speak of. However, as with any classic car, there are a few quirks and features that add to its charm. The windshield wiper linkage is currently on strike, and the heater and AC have decided to take a break. The instrument cluster has a few tricks up its sleeve, with a disconnected speedometer, a couple of lights playing hide and seek, and a temperature sensor that's a bit of a mystery. But hey, who needs those creature comforts when you've got style and personality in spades? Step inside, and you'll find an interior that's been loved and lived in. The rear bench has a bit of a tear, but the front bucket seats are still ready to cradle you on your adventures. The cabin light might need a bit of TLC, but that's just another opportunity to put your own stamp on this classic ride. Now let's talk about Sparky's body. This Dart is straight as an arrow and clean as a whistle, with minimal rust issues that are hardly worth mentioning. The paint might be a bit shabby, but that just adds to its rugged charm. And if you look closely, you'll spot some pinstripe flames on the hood and trunk, a reminder of Sparky's wild past. But wait, there's more. Sparky has a bit of a secret. It was involved in a minor fender bender that resulted in a replaced left side quarter panel. The paint might not match perfectly, but that just adds to its unique character. And because of this little mishap, the insurance company decided to give Sparky a salvage title. But that's just a technicality. Mechanically, Sparky has a few tricks up its sleeve. There's an electrical fuel pump near the gas tank that needs to be replaced every so often. And when it decides to take a break, the mechanical fuel pump might need a little help from its friend, the Edelbrock 4-barrel carburetor. But don't worry, the engine was rebuilt in 2016, so it's got plenty of life left in it. So if you're ready to take on a project that's got personality, style, and a whole lot of potential, then Sparky might just be the car for you. The seller is looking for someone who appreciates the value of a classic car and is prepared to give Sparky the love and attention it deserves. If that sounds like you, then don't hesitate. Make Sparky yours today. 6. All right, folks, let's dive into this 1976 Chevrolet Corvette that's up for grabs on Craigslist. The seller is asking just $5,500 for this classic beauty, and from what I can tell, it's got a lot going for it. Under the hood, you'll find a street-friendly 350 cubic inch engine that's ready to rumble. And get this, it's paired with a factory 4-speed manual transmission, so you know this car is built for some serious fun on the road. The seller has put in some serious work to make sure this Corvette is running like a top. We're talking a new water pump, power steering pump, hydraulic lines, and even a brand new aluminum radiator to keep things cool. And let's not forget about the exhaust, brand new from the manifolds to the back, complete with fresh mufflers that are sure to turn heads when you rev this baby up. Now, I'll be straight with you. The interior does need some cosmetic TLC to get it looking its best. But hey, that's part of the fun of owning a project car, right? The seller is upfront about this, and it's clear they've put a lot of love into this Corvette already. The odometer shows 88,000 miles, which is pretty decent for a car of this age. And with a clean title status, you can feel confident that this Corvette has been well taken care of over the years. Here's the thing. The seller is in a bit of a tough spot right now. They're dealing with some medical issues and need to raise some cash quickly. That's why they're offering up this sweet ride for less than what they paid for it and put into it. It's a real my loss your gain situation, and it speaks to the seller's sincerity in this whole deal. So if you're in the market for a classic sports car project with a whole lot of potential, this Corvette might just be the one for you. It's got a solid mechanical foundation, an honest seller, and a price tag that's tough to beat. Don't miss out on this opportunity to make this Corvette your own. 7. Get ready to feast your eyes on this incredible 1977 Lincoln Mark V that just popped up on Craigslist. With an asking price of $8,975, this beauty is looking for a new home. And let me tell you, it's got a whole lot to offer. First off, let's talk about the cosmetics. The seller is straight up about the fact that this Mark V could use a new vinyl top. But hey, that's just a minor detail in the grand scheme of things. This car is a true classic, and a little TLC in the cosmetics department will have it turning heads wherever it goes. Now let's pop the hood and see what's really going on. This bad boy is packing a 400 cubic inch V8 engine that's been tricked out with some sweet modifications. We're talking an Edelbrock carburetor and manifold dual exhaust and an HEI distributor conversion. In other words, this car isn't just a pretty face, it's got the guts to back it up. Inside, you'll find an Alpine deck with Bluetooth, so you can cruise around town with your favorite tunes bumping. And when the weather's nice, just pop open that sunroof and let the wind blow through your hair. It's the little things, right? The seller says this car runs and drives like a true classic, and with only 67,000 miles on the odometer, it's clear that it's been well taken care of over the years. The clean title is just the cherry on top. Look, if you're in the market for a classic luxury coupe that's got a ton of character and some seriously cool modifications, this Lincoln is the one for you. It may need a little bit of love in the cosmetics department, but that's all part of the fun of owning a classic car. And with an asking price of $8,975, it's a steal of a deal. So what are you waiting for? Don't let this opportunity pass you by. Get in touch with the seller and make this Mark V yours today. 8. We've got a real treat for you on Craigslist. A gorgeous 1973 Buick Park Avenue that's just begging for a new owner. This two-door sedan is hitting the market at $9,500. And let me tell you, it's got a whole lot of charm and power under the hood. First things first, let's talk about that paint job. This Park Avenue is rocking a beautiful brown color that just screams 70s cool. And the vinyl top? It's the perfect cherry on top of this classic Sunday. Now, I do have to mention that the seller noted a bit of rust under the vinyl near the back glass, but hey, that's just a little character, right? And besides, this car is described as being very straight, so you know it's been well taken care of. Now, let's get to the good stuff, the engine. This bad boy is packing a massive 455 big block under the hood, which means you'll have plenty of power at your fingertips. And with rear-wheel drive and an automatic transmission, cruising down the highway in this Park Avenue is going to feel like a dream. The odometer shows 89,000 miles, which is pretty darn good for a car that's almost 50 years old. And with a clean title, you can feel confident that this beauty has been well maintained and hasn't been through any major drama. Overall, the seller has listed the condition as good, and I've got to agree. This Buick is a solid classic car with a ton of potential. Sure, it might need a little TLC here and there, but that's all part of the fun of owning a vintage ride. So if you're ready to experience the thrill of cruising in a powerful, head-turning classic, this Park Avenue might just be the one for you. Don't wait too long, though. At $9,500, this beauty won't be on the market for long. 9. Have I got a deal for you today? We've got a sweet 1982 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme that just hit Craigslist, and let me tell you, this baby is priced to sell at just $7,950. First off, can we talk about how clean this car is? It's got a pristine white paint job that's sure to turn heads wherever you go. And with only about 111,000 miles on the car and 70,000 on the engine, you know this Cutlass has been well loved and cared for. Under the hood, you'll find a trusty 307 Olds V8 engine paired with an automatic transmission. This combo is known for its reliability and smooth driving experience. And with rear-wheel drive, you'll feel like you're gliding down the road in this beauty. Now, let's talk about the upgrades. The previous owner really went all out to make sure this Cutlass is in tip-top shape. They threw in a Pioneer stereo CD system so you can cruise around town with your favorite tunes blasting. And with features like tilt steering, AC, and rear defrost, you'll be riding in comfort no matter the weather. But that's not all. The seller is including a set of aftermarket 15 inches mag rims that look absolutely sick on this car. And if you're more of a purist, don't worry. They're also throwing in a full original set of 14 inches factory rally rims with caps and rings. Talk about options! The previous owner, who had this car for a whopping 20 years, really went the extra mile with maintenance. They replaced the brake components, transmission fluid and filter, AC pump and evaporator, front stabilizer link kit, shocks, water pump, and hoses. And get this, they even replaced the doors and rear bumper with rust-free California parts. That's dedication, folks. The seller describes this Cutlass as a great survivor and driver, and I couldn't agree more. It starts up, runs, and drives like a dream. And with extras like a car cover, spare tire, and jack, and the owner's manual included, you'll be all set to hit the road as soon as you hand over the cash. So if you're in the market for a classic car that's been well maintained, has some sweet upgrades, and won't break the bank, this Oldsmobile is the one for you. But don't wait too long. At just $7,950, this beauty won't be around for long. Give the seller a call today. Just remember, no texts or emails, and make this Cutlass yours. 10. Check out this 1981 Buick Regal Limited that just popped up on Craigslist for a cool $6,500. This baby's got 81,000 original miles and a whole lot of potential. Now, I'll be straight with you. This Regal is a project car. The seller started working on it, but just doesn't have the time to see it through. But don't let that scare you off. They've already made some sweet upgrades, and the white paint is in decent shape. Inside, you'll find a brand new headliner, carpet, and front and back seat covers. No more ripped-up, stained interior for you. The seller even installed new motors for the power sunroof and locks, plus a new window switch for the power windows. And get this, there's a double-din radio with Bluetooth so you can jam out to your favorite tunes while you cruise. Under the hood, there's a 3.8 V6 motor with a new fuel filter and carburetor. The seller says it runs decently, but between you and me, I'd consider swapping in a 350 or another V8 for some extra oomph. But wait, there's more. The seller's throwing in a bunch of new parts that haven't even been installed yet. We're talking a sweet wood grain steering wheel with the Buick logo, LED headlights and taillights, with sequential lights no less, new door panels, a programmable third brake taillight, floor mats, a floor console, new seat belts, a sound deadening kit, a weather strip kit, and even trunk carpet. It's like a treasure trove of goodies. Look, I know this Regal needs some work, but with all the progress the seller's made and the new parts included, it's a solid foundation for a killer classic car. And at just $6,500, it's a steal for the right buyer. So if you're ready to take on a project car and make this Buick Regal your own, don't hesitate. Jump on this deal before someone else scoops it up. With a little elbow grease and some TLC, this baby will be turning heads and tearing up the streets in no time. 11. Get ready to feast your eyes on this sweet 1975 Chevrolet Nova that just hit Craigslist. With an asking price of $10,000, this baby is looking for a new home. And let me tell you, it's got a whole lot of charm and style. First things first, let's talk about what's under the hood. This Nova is packing a 262 V8 engine that's mated to a 350 turbo transmission. The seller says it runs and shifts like a dream, so you can expect a smooth and powerful ride when you're cruising down the street. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Is this thing going to fall apart on me? No way, Jose. The seller describes this Nova as a really nice, solid old car. It's clear that it's been well loved and cared for over the years. Sure, the restoration might be a bit older, but the seller says it still looks great. And hey, a little patina never hurt anyone, right? One thing to keep in mind is that this particular Nova doesn't have air conditioning. But let's be real. Who needs AC when you've got the wind blowing through your hair as you cruise down the road in this classic beauty? With 88,000 miles on the odometer and a clean title, this Nova is ready to hit the road and turn some heads. It's the perfect car for anyone who wants to experience the thrill of driving a vintage vehicle without all the headaches that can come with a project car. So if you're in the market for a solid, well-maintained classic cruiser, this Nova might just be the one for you. At $10,000, it's a fair price for a car with this much style and character. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. Get in touch with the seller and make this Nova yours today. 12. Check out this amazing 1976 Oldsmobile Delta 88 Royale land yacht that just popped up on Craigslist. This baby is priced at $5,750, and the seller is firm on that, so don't even think about trying to lowball them or offer a trade. First off, let's talk about the condition of this beauty. The seller describes it as a daily driver survivor condition car, which means it's not some project that you'll have to sink a ton of money and time into. In fact, the seller is so confident in this car's reliability that they say you could drive it to Florida and back tomorrow without breaking a sweat. That's the kind of dependability you want in a classic ride. Now let's pop the hood and see what's powering this beast. You'll find an Oldsmobile 350 engine that purrs like a kitten thanks to the Mobil 1 full synthetic oil it's been running on. The TH400 transmission and drive shaft were refurbished back in 2015, so you know they're in top shape. And get this. The seller just installed a new gas tank, rear springs, and rear air shocks. The tank was damaged, not rusted out, so you don't have to worry about any nasty surprises there. The interior of this Delta 88 is just as impressive as the mechanicals. You've got a full white vinyl top and white vinyl interior that's in great original condition. No rips, tears, or stains here. The chrome bumpers are so shiny you could use them as mirrors, and there's barely any rust on this car. The frame, trunk, body, floors, and rockers are all in excellent shape with just a tiny bit of rust in front of the rear wheels. And get this, the dash has no cracks and the original black carpet is still in place. You've got power windows, AC, and a power bench seat too. It's like stepping back in time, but with all the modern conveniences you love. Now let's talk about that paint job. This Delta 88 is rocking a 30-coat blue metal flake paint job that's going to make your jaw drop. When the sun hits this baby just right, it's like a disco ball on wheels. Sure, there might be a little orange peel in indirect light, but who cares? This car is all about turning heads and making a statement. But wait, there's more. The seller wants you to know that 1976 was a big year for the Delta 88. It was the last year for the rocket 350-455 V8 engines, the GM hardtop body style without door pillars, and the 6,000-pound B-body GM cars. That means this car is a piece of history, and you could be the one to own it. Now, I know what you might be thinking. What's the catch? Well, the seller does mention that the title is missing, but hey, that's just a minor detail, right? With a car this cool, who needs paperwork? So, if you're ready to cruise in style and make all your buddies jealous, this Oldsmobile is the car for you. It's got the looks, the power, and the history to make it a true classic. And at just $5,750, it's a steal of a deal, but you better act fast because a car like this won't stay on the market for long. The seller is firm on the price and they're not interested in any trades. So, if you want to make this beauty yours, you better have cash in hand and be ready to move. In conclusion, if you're looking for a classic car that's ready to hit the road and turn heads, this Delta 88 is the one for you. With its powerful engine, stunning paint job, and comfortable interior, it's the perfect car for cruising, showing off, or just enjoying the ride. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. Contact the seller today and make this land yacht yours. 13. Get ready to feast your eyes on this absolutely stunning 1985 Lincoln Town Car that just popped up on Craigslist in Jacksonville. With an asking price of $9,500, this beauty is looking for a new home, and let me tell you, it's got everything you could ever want in a classic ride. First off, can we talk about that mileage? This town car has only clocked in at 48,971 miles. That's right, folks. Less than 50K on the odometer. It's like this car has barely been broken in. And with a clean title to boot, you know it's been well taken care of over the years. Now, let's talk about what's under the hood. This baby is packing a powerful V8 engine that purrs like a kitten. And with electric windows and seats, you'll be cruising in comfort and style. But that's not all. This town car also has a sunroof, so you can let that fresh air in and feel the wind in your hair as you're rolling down the highway. The seller describes the condition of this car as excellent, both inside and out. The leather interior is pristine, and the exterior is in fantastic shape. And get this, the AC works like a dream. The seller says it gets cold so quickly it'll freeze you out in no time. That's the kind of luxury you deserve on those hot summer days. But the real kicker? This car is ready to hit the road at a moment's notice. The seller says you could hop in this baby and drive cross-country immediately. That's the kind of reliability and dependability you want in a classic car. Now, I know what you might be thinking. What if I don't have the cash on hand? Well, the seller is open to trades. They'll consider cars, trucks, RVs, real estate, or any other real property you might have. And if you've got something of higher value, they've got cash available to make up the difference. How's that for flexibility? So if you're in the market for a classic luxury car that's been impeccably maintained and is ready to hit the road, this Lincoln is the one for you. With its low mileage, excellent condition, and incredible features, it's a steal at just $9,500. But don't wait too long because a car like this won't stay on the market forever. Give Vicky a call or shoot her a text for the quickest response. Trust me, you won't regret it. In conclusion, this town car is the epitome of luxury, reliability, and style. It's the perfect car for cruising, showing off, or just enjoying the ride. So what are you waiting for? Make this beauty yours today. 14. Get ready to be amazed by this incredible 1964 Chrysler Imperial, currently available on Craigslist for the unbeatable price of just $9,500. This is your chance to own a piece of automotive history that's sure to make you the envy of every car lover in town. First and foremost, let's talk about the condition of this magnificent machine. The seller proudly states that the Imperial is in excellent original condition, with a mere 60,000 miles on the odometer. That's right, this classic beauty has been meticulously cared for over the years, ensuring that it's ready to hit the road and turn heads wherever it goes. Under the hood, you'll find a beastly 413 wedge motor that churns out a jaw-dropping 375 horsepower. This engine is the heart and soul of the Imperial, providing plenty of power to get your adrenaline pumping as you cruise down the highway. And with rear-wheel drive and a smooth shifting automatic transmission, you'll feel like you're gliding on a cloud as you navigate the streets in style. But it's not just about the power. This Imperial is a true work of art. The stunning green paint job is in fantastic condition, making the car stand out from the crowd and showcasing its timeless elegance. And with a clean title status, you can rest assured that this beauty is ready to be yours without any hidden surprises. Step inside the Imperial, and you'll be transported back to a time when cars were built with style and substance. The interior is in excellent shape, with only the front seat needing some reupholstering to make it truly perfect. But don't let that minor detail fool you. The rest of the interior is absolutely pristine, and the push-button transmission adds a touch of vintage charm that's sure to impress. The seller does mention that there are a few small things to fix, but that's to be expected with any classic car. The beauty of this Imperial is that you can enjoy it right away while gradually addressing any minor issues over time. And let's be honest, half the fun of owning a classic car is getting your hands dirty and making it your own. In conclusion, this Imperial is a rare opportunity that you simply can't afford to miss. With its powerful engine, stunning condition, and timeless style, this car is sure to be the centerpiece of any collection. And at just $9,500, it's an absolute steal. Don't wait, contact the seller today and make this Imperial yours before someone else snatches it up. 15. We've got a real blast from the past on our hands. A 1984 Chevrolet Camaro Z28 that's up for grabs on Craigslist. The seller's asking $5,000, but is this classic muscle car worth the cash? Let's dive in and take a closer look. First off, let's talk about the good stuff. Under the hood, this Camaro's packing a brand new 5.0 engine that the seller claims roars very loud. I mean, who doesn't love the sound of a powerful V8, right? The car's also got a clean title, which is always a relief. And that red paint job? Timeless. Sure, it might be a little dirty from sitting around, but a good wash and wax could really make this baby shine. But here's where things get a bit iffy. The seller mentions that the odometer's busted and is rolled over, so honestly there's no telling how many miles this Camaro's actually seen. Could be 100,000, could be 300,000. It's anyone's guess. Even more concerning is the transmission situation. Apparently the previous owner was gearing up to drag race this thing and threw in a racing transmission. The current seller even straight up recommends swapping it out for a regular one. Why? Because right now, every time you hit the gas and shift gears, the car tries to launch itself into orbit. Not exactly ideal for cruising down Main Street. Oh, and did I mention this? Camaro's been collecting dust for the past 4-5 years. Yep, it's just been sitting pretty, which can lead to all sorts of headaches. Dry, rotted tires, gunked up fluids, crumbling rubber bits, you name it. The seller's pretty upfront about not having the time or dough to fix her up anymore, so what's the verdict? Honestly, it's a toss-up. This old 84 Z28 definitely has some cool things going for it, like that fresh engine and iconic look. But the mystery mileage, wonky transmission, and years of neglect are some serious red flags. For $5,000, it might be a sweet project car for someone ready to roll up their sleeves and wrench. But if you're looking for a turnkey classic to cruise around in tomorrow, this probably ain't it. At the end of the day, if you're considering taking this Camaro home, get it checked out by a pro first, and be ready to drop some extra cash to get it running right. That race transmission alone could end up costing you a pretty penny to rebuild or replace. But hey, if you've got the skills, the time, and the budget, this Z28 could be one heck of a restoration project. Just go in with your eyes wide open and maybe keep a fire extinguisher handy when you hit the gas for the first time. Happy wrenching! 16. All right, folks. Today we're taking a look at a real gem from the golden age of American automobiles, a 1957 Buick Coupe that's up for sale on Craigslist. The seller's asking $7,900 for this classic beauty, but is it worth the dough? Let's find out. First things first, the seller claims this Buick is in good condition overall, with minimal rust and a straight solid body. That's always a plus when you're dealing with a car that's over 60 years old. The powder blue exterior is said to be original, which is pretty impressive. And check out that trim, it's reportedly in very good shape too. Under the hood, you'll find a V8 nailhead engine that the seller says runs great. That's the kind of news we like to hear. However, there's a catch. You can't actually take this baby for a spin just yet because the brakes aren't working. That's definitely something you'll want to address before hitting the road. Now, let's talk about the interior. The seller mentions it's very original from the seats to the various bits and pieces. That's a big deal for collectors who value authenticity. The chrome and stainless trim inside is also said to be in very good condition, which is another feather in this Buick's cap. The seller does mention there's some Bondo on the door areas, which is a type of body filler used to repair dents and rust. That's not necessarily a deal breaker, but it's something to keep in mind. You'll want to take a close look at those spots to make sure the repairs were done properly. One really cool feature of this 57 Buick is that three-piece rear window. It's a stunning design element that really sets this car apart from the pack. The seller even says this coupe would make a great cruise night car, and I can totally see that. Imagine rolling up to your local car show in this vintage stunner. You'd be the talk of the town. So what's the bottom line? If you're in the market for a classic American car with loads of potential, this Buick Coupe is definitely worth checking out. At $7,900, it's not the cheapest project car out there, but it seems to have a lot going for it. The original powder blue paint, solid body, and running V8 engine are all big pluses. Of course, you'll want to take a closer look at those door repairs and factor in the cost of getting the brakes back in working order. But if you're handy with a wrench or don't mind investing a little extra to get this Buick roadworthy again, it could be a really rewarding project. And just imagine the satisfaction of cruising down the street in this vintage beauty, turning heads everywhere you go. With a little TLC, this 57 Buick Coupe could be the star of your garage and the envy of every classic car lover in town. 17. Now, we've got a real head-turner for you, a 1978 Ford Ranchero GT 500 that's up for grabs on Craigslist. The seller's asking $8,000 for this unique ride, and they're not budging on the price. But is it worth the cash? Let's take a closer look. First off, the seller claims this Ranchero is in excellent condition, which is a bold statement for a car that's over 40 years old. They're quick to point out that it's not a museum piece or a show car with perfect paint, but rather a solid, metal-bodied classic that's mechanically sound. That's good news for anyone who wants a vintage ride they can actually drive and enjoy. Under the hood, you'll find a beefy 351 Windsor V8 engine, which should provide plenty of power for cruising around town or hitting the highway. The seller says the car runs and drives great with no issues, which is exactly what you want to hear when you're dropping serious coin on a classic. Now let's talk about some of the upgrades. The seller mentions they've thrown in a ton of new parts, including 4 fresh hand-cooked tires, Pioneer Bluetooth speakers, and cool white LED headlights. Those modern touches should make this Ranchero a bit more practical and enjoyable to drive on a regular basis. The black paint job looks pretty slick in the photos, and the seller says the car has just 55,000 miles on the odometer. That's relatively low mileage for a vehicle of this age, which could be a big selling point for collectors. Another plus is the clean New York title and no reported accidents. That's always good news when you're buying a used car, especially a classic. Now it's worth noting that the seller is firm on their $8,000 asking price. They're not interested in negotiating or entertaining lower offers, which could be a turnoff for some buyers. However, if this Ranchero is really as nice as the seller claims, it might just be worth the price tag. Overall, this Ranchero GT seems like a pretty cool find. It's got a strong V8 engine, low mileage, and some nice modern upgrades. The fact that it's not a perfect show car might actually be a plus for someone who wants a classic they can drive and enjoy without worrying about every little scratch or ding. Of course, as with any used car purchase, you'll want to see this Ranchero in person and give it a thorough inspection before handing over any cash. But if it checks out and you're in the market for a unique, head-turning classic, this could be the ride for you. Just be prepared to pay the full $8,000 asking price, as the seller seems pretty set on that number. But hey, if you've been dreaming of cruising around in a vintage Ranchero with a rumbling V8 under the hood, this might just be your chance to make that dream a reality. 18. Alright folks, today we've got a groovy blast from the past. A 1972 Ford Galaxie station wagon that's looking for a new home. This far-out family hauler is up for grabs on Craigslist for just $3,950, but is it worth your hard-earned bread? Let's dig in and find out. First things first, the seller claims this Galaxie is in good condition overall. That's always a solid start when you're talking about a car that's pushing 50 years old. They mention it's a good running and driving classic, which is music to any enthusiast's ears. Under the hood, you'll find a beefy 460 V8 engine, which should provide plenty of power for cruising around town or hitting the highway. And get this, the seller says it's got a posi traction rear end, which means this wagon might just surprise you with its get up and go. Now let's talk about some of the cool features. This Galaxie's got power steering, which should make navigating those tight parking spots a breeze. It's also got a roof rack, perfect for hauling your gear on those weekend camping trips or cross-country adventures. And check out those jump seats in the rear cargo area. How cool is that? You can bring the whole gang along for the ride. The seller does mention that the air conditioning isn't working, which could be a bummer if you're planning on using this as a daily driver in the hot summer months, but hey, that's just one more excuse to roll down the windows and let that 460 V8 sing its sweet, sweet song. Now let's talk about the extras. The seller says this Galaxie comes with some extra parts, which could be a big plus if you're planning on doing any repairs or upgrades down the line. They don't specify exactly what those parts are, but it's always nice to have a few spare bits and pieces kicking around. The odometer shows just 78,000 miles, which is relatively low for a car of this age. Of course, you'll want to verify that the mileage is accurate, but if it checks out, that could be a big selling point. Overall, this Galaxie seems like a pretty cool find. It's got a strong V8 engine, some nice features like power steering and a roof rack, and even comes with some extra parts. The fact that the AC isn't working is a bit of a bummer, but that's not necessarily a deal breaker. At $3,950, this Galaxie seems like a pretty solid deal for a classic wagon. Of course, as with any used car purchase, you'll want to give it a thorough inspection before handing over any cash. But if it checks out and you're in the market for a vintage family hauler with plenty of style and character, this could be the ride for you. Just imagine rolling up to your local car show or cruise night in this brown beauty. With those jump seats in the back and that roof rack on top, you'll be the talk of the town. And who knows, maybe you'll even inspire a few other folks to start searching for their own classic station wagon. So, if you've got a soft spot for the 1970s and a hankering for a cool practical classic, this Ford might just be the ticket. Just be prepared to crank up the tunes and let that 460 V8 do the talking. 19. We've got a real blast from the past for you. A 1983 AMC Eagle wagon that's up for grabs on Craigslist. This rugged 4x4 is being offered by Mesa Motors in Denver, Colorado for just $3,988 cash. But is it worth your hard-earned dough? Let's take a closer look. First off, the seller claims this Eagle is in good condition, which is always a promising start for a car that's nearly 40 years old. They mention it runs and drives, which is exactly what you want to hear when you're shopping for a classic ride. Under the hood, you'll find a trusty 6-cylinder engine, which should provide plenty of power for tackling those mountain roads or cruising around town. And with 4-wheel drive, this Eagle is ready to take on whatever Mother Nature throws its way. Whether you're dealing with snow, mud, or rough terrain, this AMC is up for the challenge. Now let's talk about the mileage. The odometer shows 160,000 miles, which is certainly not low for a car of this age. However, if the Eagle has been well maintained over the years, it could still have plenty of life left in it. Just be prepared to give it a thorough inspection and possibly invest in some repairs or upgrades down the line. The brown paint job might not be everyone's cup of tea, but it definitely gives this Eagle a unique vintage look. And hey, with a car this cool, you're bound to turn heads no matter what color it is. One big plus is that the seller says this Eagle comes with a new e-test, which means it's passed a recent emissions inspection. That's one less thing you'll have to worry about if you decide to make this 4x4 your own. Now, it's worth noting that the seller doesn't provide a ton of details about the car's history or specific condition. They don't mention anything about rust, the interior, or any recent repairs or upgrades. So you'll definitely want to ask some questions and take a closer look before making any decisions. Overall, this AMC seems like a pretty intriguing find. It's got a rugged 4x4 drivetrain, a classic look, and a price tag that won't break the bank. If you're in the market for a unique vintage ride that can handle a little adventure, this Eagle might just be worth checking out. Of course, with any used car purchase, you'll want to do your due diligence. Give this Eagle a thorough inspection, take it for a test drive, and make sure you're comfortable with its condition and any potential repairs it might need. But if everything checks out and you're ready to take the plunge, this Eagle could be the start of a beautiful friendship. Just imagine hitting the trails or the ski slopes in this bad boy with that 6-cylinder engine humming away and the 4-wheel drive taking you places other cars only dream of. So if you're in the Denver area and you've got $3,988 burning a hole in your pocket, why not swing by Mesa Motors and take a closer look at this classic AMC? Who knows? It might just be the adventure mobile you've been waiting for. 20. Now we've got a real gem from the swinging 60s. A 1965 Corvair Monza sedan that's looking for a new home. This unique ride is up for grabs on Craigslist for $4,500. But is it worth your hard-earned cash? Let's take a closer look. First off, the seller says this Monza is in good condition, which is always a plus for a car that's over half a century old. With just under 40,000 miles on the odometer from 2 owners, this Corvair has been lightly used and well preserved. The current owner has put about 2,000 miles on it since 2020, while the rest of the mileage came from the original owner. That's a pretty cool history for any classic car. Under the hood, you'll find a 6-cylinder engine, which was a unique feature of the Corvair. This rear-mounted, air-cooled power plant was a departure from the norm back in the day, and it's part of what makes the Corvair such an interesting and collectible car today. Now let's talk about some of the upgrades and new parts. The seller has invested in a range of safety and drivability improvements, including new tires and wheels, a fresh fuel tank and pump, a new master cylinder, and even seat belts. They've also thrown in some creature comforts like a Bluetooth radio and new floor mats. It's clear that the owner has put some thought and effort into making this Corvair a solid driver. Of course, no classic car is perfect, and this Monza has a few issues to note. The seller mentions some minor rust in the usual spots, plus a more noticeable patch on the passenger side rear door. They also say the car could benefit from a fresh paint job to really make it shine. Inside, there are a couple of fixable tears in the front seats, but overall the interior is said to be in pretty good shape. Mechanically, the seller notes that the alternator was recently replaced, but may need some adjustment or even another replacement. They're upfront about this being a car that will require some ongoing maintenance and care, which is par for the course with any classic vehicle. On the plus side, this Corvair comes with a clean current title and has been insured by a specialty classic car provider. The seller even has some extra new parts ready to install, like weather stripping and side mirrors. Overall, this Monza seems like a solid find for the right buyer. It's got a cool history, a unique design, and a bunch of new parts to keep it running and driving well. The fact that it's not a perfect show car might actually be a plus for someone who wants a classic they can enjoy without stressing over every little imperfection. Of course, as with any used car purchase, you'll want to give this Corvair a thorough inspection before handing over any cash. Check out that rust, give it a good test drive, and make sure you're comfortable with the mechanical condition and any potential repairs it might need down the line. But if you're up for a little adventure, and you've got a soft spot for quirky 1960s classics, this Corvair Monza might just be the car of your dreams. Just imagine cruising around town in this bright yellow beauty, turning heads and sparking conversations wherever you go. With a little TLC and some elbow grease, you could turn this survivor into a real showstopper. So if you've got $4,500 burning a hole in your pocket and a hankering for something a little different, why not take a closer look at this Corvair? It might just be the start of a beautiful friendship between you and one of Chevy's most unique creations.